Welcome to the Dementialand Serial Podcast, a story for everyone who knows someone living in or near Dementialand. My name is Suzka, and this is my story. She cannot live alone. She cannot live alone. She cannot live alone. You are about to listen to the Dementialand podcast, The Transfer. Those words the doctor told me piled up on top of each other and stuck in my head. I felt faint and damp. I blinked fast, trying not to cry.
Your mother has meningitis encephalitis. For now, we'll start on antibiotics that we'll give to her through an IV for about 10 days.
What did he say? My mother's dementia was caused from meningitis encephalitis. I tried to remember his exact words, but I couldn't think. That summer, before my mother's illness, two things happened. Hurricane Katrina hit the Gulf Coast, causing severe damage, and Harry Potter returned to Hogwarts fighting dragons.
If your name is chosen, there is no turning back. As from this moment, the Triwizard Tournament has begun.
The nurse led me to a small room about the size of a broom closet. The space was barren and beige with no windows. There was only one framed print on the wall of what looked like the Niagara Falls. It was god-awful ugly, flat, no life, no passion. I know for sure Picasso and Gully Jimson would have just hated it. Under the falls was a table. Two chairs sat on opposite sides. There will be someone coming in here shortly to help you with your mother's transfer. Transfer? What is she talking about? Before I got a chance to put my words together, the doors closed any opening for questions, and the walls sealed themselves around me. Did she say transfer? I think that's what she said. Oh, this is not good. Something made me look up at the ceiling's corners, expecting to find one of those cameras they used in interrogating rooms at police stations. Maybe the Niagara Falls painting was concealing a secret peeping lens. Or maybe it's a one-way window where I can be watched and recorded from another room. Oh, I had to stop where this was going. I took a couple deep breaths and paced around the room to calm my nerves.
Hello, my name is Lucy.
Lucy was a slim young lady in her late 20s with pointy cone breasts. She was very pretty, but if you needed to identify her to the authorities as a missing person, her breasts would have been the most distinguishing feature, in addition to the scribbled tattoo on her neck that slid under her cardigan. She brought in with her a clipboard and laid it on the table in front of me, its metal gums bid down on a number of hospital forms and note papers. I said hello hesitantly.
We started your mother on intravenous antibiotics in the ER, but we were unable to keep her here at the hospital for the full 10-day treatment. We need to move her to another facility, probably by the end of this day. Right now, we're checking with all our affiliate rehabilitation centers. When a bed is available, we'll transfer her by ambulance.
Move her? Why can't she stay here?
She really doesn't need the full hospital care, and your insurance would never cover it.
But she's sick, very sick. From what the ER doctor told me, go ask him. Really, I'm telling the truth.
I can assure you the rehab center we are waiting to hear from is well equipped to care for your mother.
I hate it when they shorten serious words, rehab for rehabilitation, as if they were going to send my mother to a spa, a health ranch with horse stables and massage cabanas. I knew what was going on. They were shipping her to a nursing home. This was bad. This was going to be very, very bad. Before I could say anything, I felt the bones of her tiny hand reach across the table and pat my arm.
Everything will be fine. They will continue the series of IV medications for 10 days, and then you can take your mother home. This gives you enough time to prepare for her return.
Her hand returned to the clipboard. Her eyes looked down into her readers.
It is written here that you will be staying with your mother and that you will also be hiring an additional caregiver to help you. Is that correct?
I heard her, but I didn't hear her.
You fully understand that your mother will need around-the-clock care, don't you?
The slim bearer of bad news waited for some response.
You will not be able to take care of her by yourself. You will need help.
I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. I didn't really listen to what she was saying, but somehow I soaked it all up. The look, the tone in her voice, the sound air makes when it scrubs itself clean, and the buzzing sound of the fluorescent lights. I was like a sponge. If anyone dared to squeeze me, everything would squish out, and I would be just a puddle on the floor.
Your mother's 10-day stay at the rehab will give you enough time to get everything in order. But first, we need to take care of the hospital's discharge paperwork and go over a few things.
There was a weighted knock at the door. In the crack of its opening, a head popped through.
Suzka, this is Miss Blanchard. She works at the Aged Oaks Pavilion, the rehab center affiliated with our hospital.
Miss Blanchard shook my hand. Her fingers were like fat sausages and sweaty.
Hello, my dear Suzka. Your name is Suzka?
Yes, that's my name. Yes, I'm Suzka.
What an interesting name. Is that Russian?
Thank you. No, it's Slovakian. The name is Slovakian. I could have said Chinese, and her reaction would have been the same. She moved her attention and words towards Lucy.
I have very good news, and I brought all the paperwork with me to get things moving quickly.
Miss Blanchard was a stout, handsome woman with maroon pinned-up hair, kind of in a pompadour style that looked old, as if the hairs had not moved or changed their directions since she was a young girl. She carried herself as an official ambassador for the Aged Oaks Pavilion and smelled of a mixture of Jean Naté bath splash and Lysol disinfectant. Lucy went out of the room to get another chair.
I am so sorry to hear about your mother's illness.
She lifted her hands and held them close to her breasts, with the tips of her fingers pressed together as if they were in prayer.
You need not worry. We have a bed available, and we will be able to transfer your mother this afternoon. I can assure you that everyone at the Aged Oaks Pavilion will do everything they can to make her stay comfortable.
Lucy returned with a cushioned chair and placed it at the table's edge. Miss Blanchard kept on talking and sat down with no thought as to where her butt bottom was going to land. Good shot, I thought. A perfect landing.
I brought the necessary papers for you to sign before we can admit your mother.
She made herself quite comfortable and pulled out a stack of papers from a folder with gold embossed lettering on its cover. In a matter of seconds, the table was filled on both sides with notes, post-its, and medical forms that I needed to read and sign.
Tell me a little bit about your mother. You're her daughter, right?
Yes, I'm my mother's daughter.
How lucky your mother is to have you. Is your father, Violet's husband, alive?
Well, no, not really. At this point, I didn't even know what I was saying. Both ladies asked me a series of questions. I felt absurdly close to tears. After what seemed like hours and hours of questioning, I broke. I squealed like a baby. I told them everything they wanted to know. God, I felt so bad.